That's my music, my theme music for what we about to eat. So turn it down a little bit, just a little bit, Helene. Okay, thank you. So today we about to eat some for brunch, some sweet potato hash and some grits. So in my sweet potato hash I put sausage, vegan sausage, because when I used to eat meat, that's how I used to make it. And a lot of other ingredients I'm adding for the first time that I haven't added before. Well, two ingredients that I haven't used before, and I'm wondering how it will improve or impact the taste. So here are my ingredients for my hash. So I have 3 sweet potatoes diced up, a half of a green pepper, a half of a red pepper, sliced thick to your preference, but I like the slices kind of thick. 1 small tomato diced up. I don't really like tomato, but I'm becoming around to it more and more when it's prepared in different ways. So I like fried tomatoes, and I'm going to fry that with the hash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 garlic cloves. This is my preference because I love garlic. So either I'm going to dice it, or I'm going to leave it whole like this, or maybe just slice them in half and throw it in there, because a bite of fried garlic is so good. 1 shallot, and I'm going to slice them. And then about 4 small portobello mushrooms. I just had some left over from the other day, and I sliced these like this. My water for my grits is boiling. For the grits, I'm using this. I'm adding this to this from Trader Joe's. It is so good. It tastes like smoked salmon cream cheese, and it gives a nice smoky element whenever I'm trying to do savory grits. So I'll be using that for my grits. And earth balance butter, I use that as well. I wish they made bigger containers, because I go through butter like nobody's business. And I forgot to add, this is the turkey that I'm using, the turkey sausage, tofurkey sausage that I'm using for my sweet potato hash. I got it from Trader Joe's, and it's actually really good. I like to make it a little bit spicier because I'm used to using the spicy sausage with my hash. So I'm gonna add my grits to the boiling water to get it started, and then I heated up some vegetable oil, and I'm gonna add the sweet potatoes first. So the order in which you add your ingredients to the hash makes a difference, because you don't want to burn everything. So the first thing that goes in are the sweet potatoes, and then I'm going to let my onion, my peppers and my tomatoes go in at the same time, and then I'm going to add my mushrooms after these cook down. And then the last thing I'm going to add is my garlic and my shallots, because the garlic can burn easily, and the shallots I just like when they're not fried as long, as opposed to white onions or yellow onions or Vidalia onions, whatever those other ones are. I will put those type of onions in with the peppers, but these I like a different taste with it. Okay, and then I don't season everything at the beginning. I season it after I've started to cook, so that the pores on the food have opened up and they can receive the seasoning. So I'm going to put my grits in, and then add the sweet potatoes to the frying pan. Okay, so I put my 70s shag jacket on to protect myself for when I put my potatoes in the oil, because the other day it popped on me. So I just put it right in the oil, and I don't coat it in anything. I also, the very, very last thing we're going to add to the hash is the sausage, because it doesn't take as long to cook. And sweet potatoes has become one of my favorite foods since becoming vegan. I don't know how long I've been vegan now, but sweet potatoes are so delicious. You can do so many different things with them. Okay. All right. So I have my sweet potatoes cooking. Now I don't know how long it takes. I've never timed it. It's 12:50 right now, and I don't know how long it's gonna take. So when they start getting soft, then I'm gonna add in the peppers and tomatoes. That may take maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but I'll hit it with the first seasoning right before I'll add the peppers and tomatoes. So let me show you my seasoning. So of course my adobo is going on there. So like I said, with sweet potatoes you can do a lot of different things. I'm gonna go savory, and I have my Italian seasoning. I want to add some spice, so my good old chili paste, my trusty garlic powder. I don't use garlic salt because that adds too much salt. I can add salt on my own. And then pepper, and then I'm going in on my smoky paprika today. So there'll be notes of smoky in the hash and in the grits, but I put sugar, salt, pepper, and butter in my grits, and it actually makes a nice balance. And then when I add the the unlocks your dreams cream cheese, the vegan cream cheese, it really just ties it all together. It's so good. And then I have my my man. That cracks me up. Oh, you gonna fly? Where you about to go? Okay. So I'm gonna add this too. So like I said, I had new ingredients. This is the first time I'm adding mushrooms. I don't know how these mushrooms are going to pair with the sweet potatoes in this recipe. I have had mushrooms before with sweet potatoes and tacos, but I was just thinking about how I wanted to just add more to the hash, and I still had these mushrooms, and I just wanted to create a more balanced meal, so I just decided to add the mushrooms. But I want to show you what the sausage looks like. I'm going to chop it up and then chop up my shallots, and then I think I'm just going to split my garlic because I want big bites of garlic. So I thawed this out. You can freeze the sausage. You can freeze it if you want, and if you do, you can just put it in a plastic bag like I did and put it in some hot water to thaw out. Oh, it smells so good. It's so fragrant. It has basil in it, and what else? Tofu, of course. I don't usually use this a lot because I don't like eating too much tofu. I don't like eating too many processed things, but every now and then it does add to meals. But the basil you can smell in here. So to just give, I don't know if you could tell the texture. It's kind of like tough. So when you cut it, that's what it looks like. So it does look like a real live sausage, except for it's no like weird skin casing or like contaminants that's gonna give you stomach issues. But sometimes actually tofu it can upset your stomach, like depending on what product you're using. Like sometimes when I would go to vegan restaurants and I would eat that tofu scramble, I would immediately get nauseous. So I think that, but I haven't had that issue with other tofu products. So I think that it matters the brand that you get it from. Okay, I'm going to give my sweet potatoes a toss and my grits a stir. And add more water. Alright, so I almost burned the grits because I didn't put enough water. I add water as I'm cooking, just like anybody who's making grits, but sometimes if I'm not paying attention, something easy can go wrong real quick. Ooh, I almost failed. Okay, so I'm lowering the heat on my hash. That's hot. Because it's just browning on the outside, and I want it to cook on the inside too. So I'm going to hit it with some seasoning now, and all of those seasonings that I showed you, except for the hot sauce, maybe I won't, but maybe I will. I don't know. Okay, so let me see if I can bring this closer. How y'all doing? Like, oh, my 600-pound life? Okay, so boom. So I'm just sprinkling till it feels right. But remember what I said about adobo? It can get salty. So if you add too much, I think I'm going to set this down, because if not, I'll just be spinning around. Okay. My first time making videos, so if it looks crazy in the beginning, that's why. But I'm getting a microphone, so. Okay, so then I'm going to hit it with garlic powder. Now, at this point, it's probably just seasoning the oil, but that's not a bad thing, because it's all going to be in the oil together. And this gives it a pretty color when you're just using regular potatoes. Paprika gives it a nice color when you're frying it. And some, ooh, my man. Okay. Now for the tomatoes and the peppers, they're going in the pot. I'm going to turn it back up to medium. And then toss these pretty girls in here. So I think in the last video I mentioned that I don't really like green peppers. It's not my favorite. Red peppers are my favorite. But with this sausage, it pairs really well with green peppers. So I'm going to just go for it anyway. And give this a toss. So I'm going to give my shallots one more a finishing chop, because I didn't finish that. Okay, if you can hear that music in the background, you probably can't because my sound sucks. But that's Chronix, and he's a Jamaican artist. Amazing CD. The chronology is so good. So I'm just going to give these a slice just so that I have more of it without using up all my garlic, because I am a big garlic user. If you're ever not feeling well, got an upset stomach, you can eat a clove of garlic because it's antibacterial. It will clean your stomach out. And oregano oil. I also would take some oregano oil if I had an upset stomach, but just a drop in a big glass of water, because that's antibacterial too. But this garlic I like to keep whole. Ooh, but it's so good. If you roast this garlic in the oven, shut the front door, okay? Because it is so delicious. You would take the whole garlic clove, just like this. You would chop off the top, and then put it face down on some maybe aluminum foil or a baking dish. I put it in a 400-degree oven. You could do 350, and then I just drizzle the top with olive oil and let it stay in there until it's mushy to the touch. And man, or the top will be like golden. You just pop those bad boys out, add it to pasta or sauce or anything that you want to feel fancy when you eating it. You want to feel fancy. Roasted garlic will make you feel fancy, huh? Okay. Alright, I'm going to give my grits a stir. Okay. So, I'm going to pause it and then finish my grits and then show you how I season my grits. Okay, so my grits are about to receive some flavor, but before then I'm going to put these mushrooms into the oil so that, because they cook about the same rate, So I'm not sure, like I said, I don't know how long this takes or how long it's been cooking. If you started at 12, okay, so I did time it right. So about 10 minutes into cooking the potatoes, you want to add your peppers and onions and your peppers and mushrooms and stuff. So wait, let me give it a toss. Already the sweet potatoes are getting soft. And I cover it with the top so that it stays soft, because without the top it tends to just get crispy whenever I'm frying potatoes. If I don't cover it, it gets crispy quick. And I always used to see my mom, whenever she makes breakfast, like on the weekends, she would cover it with the top, and then add the onions and peppers last. Usually add the onions last because they will tend to burn. So, but okay. So now for my grits. Now this is how the cream cheese looks. This is what's left of it because we used it a lot. And I'll just scoop all of this into the grits and taste them. Okay, so these need to cook longer. I'm gonna add, this will make it creamy. And I'm gonna just scoop all of this up in it. And while I'm doing that, I want to talk about how I saw this one cooking show, or this man was cooking, and he was saying that grits are supposed to be savory, that people make them sweet and they're not supposed to be sweet. And you know what, I'm not going to add all of this at once. I'm going to add half of this because that clump, I'm going to add half of it and see if I like where the flavor's going first. I'll do it slowly. But the man said that grits are supposed to be savory, that people make a mistake of making it sweet. And I was thinking, well, how do you know everybody wants savory grits? And who says it's wrong? Because I don't want no savory grits. But then I tried it. And I started adding garlic and smoky flavors and things to grits, and oh my goodness, if it wasn't amazing, like the warmth and texture of the grits. But important, the only grits that are good are Quaker, in my opinion. I've tried getting the off-brand cheaper grits at Aldi, but it does not taste the same. That signature grits flavor that I know is Quaker's. So now I can't stop eating grits. And grits goes with everything. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Dessert would be gross, but you can eat it with everything too. Some pancakes, or you could eat it with something, spicy shrimp. It's just such a nice background. Okay, so I'm gonna add some more. Oh, I'm gonna add butter. I add a ton of butter to my grits. A ton. Try to get the grits off the spoon. So this will be about as much as I add in at a time, and then I'll mix it. But I'm gonna add some more. It's a good consistency. I don't know if you can see. It's creamy. Oh, I almost spilled them. They're upset. Have you ever gotten hot grits on your skin? Yo, it's crazy how bad it hurts. Didn't the singer, was it Marvin Gaye or Al Green, got hot grits thrown on him? I think Al Green. Yo, that ain't no joke. Oh, I switched pots because it was burning in the other pot. So if you're burning something, just empty it out and switch pots so that the burning smell doesn't stay in your food. Okay. So I have it on my grits on low. I'm getting hot in my 70s prostitute coat. I really like this coat. I know, not just a prostitute, but like fly women wore coats like this too, I thought. But it would make me feel like I should have jewelry on when I wear it. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit my hash with some more seasoning, and I'm gonna scoop the potatoes near the edge so that it gets most of the seasoning instead of it just getting in the grease. And I'm gonna drizzle some of this on it, but I'm gonna season it again after it's finished cooking. So all this seasoning probably doesn't do anything other than flavor the oil, really, but I have a habit of doing it. So I'm doing smoked paprika. I may have used maybe like a tablespoon of it by now, or teaspoon, I don't know, maybe like a tablespoon of it. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. So good. Okay, so I'm mashing the spoon down so I can feel the texture of the potatoes, and I'm liking it. So now I'm gonna add my garlic and my shallots, and then the last thing, well, I could probably add all of it together because the tofurkey sausage only takes about, what did it say, 3 minutes or so, or 4 minutes it says. Saute until it's browned, like, or boil in water for 90 seconds. If you're grilling it, you grill it for 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm just going to throw these in with it too. The sausage and the garlic and the shallots in now. Just gather it up. Now, I'm going to hit this with some cayenne first, because I'm feeling spicy today. Just a little bit of cayenne goes a long way. Okay. Now, let me not pick that up with my fingers since I just sprinkled cayenne on it. I've definitely got pepper in my eye before, and it is nothing fun about it. That looks crazy. I'm just going to pick up the whole thing and scoot it in, like chefs do, you know? Shit. Drop on it. No, I'm just going to throw that in. Okay. I'm going to give it a toss. That chili paste, that chili pepper sauce just took this to the next level. Took it to the next level, homes. Okay. Let's close that up. Okay. Back to the grids. We'll cover her back up. Now oh yeah, it's so nice and creamy. That's how you want some grits to be. Okay, so now automatically I know more butter without even tasting it. I've already done 1 dollop, 2 dollops. That's what I need. I'm probably gonna add another one. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder because we're going for savory. I'm also, let me get some green onion. Boom. Some green onion. I'm just going to chop up one. Just rinse it and chop it. Green onions are so good. I used to underestimate them when I was younger. I used to underestimate a lot of things when I was younger and be mad judgmental. But good thing I'm not like that anymore, because then I wouldn't know how delicious green onions work. I'm I'm just gonna go all the way till I can't go no more. And then, boom, pop those in. I do have chives too, but I don't always like chives. Maybe I haven't gotten a distinct, like, feel of the flavor. I'm gonna mix. I'm so hungry, man. Whew. Okay, so that smells right on the butter note. Now for salt. I need an apron. But these are my pajamas, or my pajamas, like I like to say every now and then. Okay. I'm not going to add any umami. I'm just going to give me some. The only thing that is not good that I do with my grits is I add white sugar. I have tried adding different types of sugar, but I have been conditioned to like grits in one way and one way only, and that is with white sugar. I tried it with coconut sugar, tried it with brown sugar, and it is disgusting. So white sugar for me is the way to go. I don't measure how much I'm putting in. I put it in until taste. So I'm going to do it with my hand until taste, and then try to estimate how much I did so that you can try to mimic it too. But okay, let me give my hash one more turn, and I think that this is going to be ready by the time my grits are finished. And I'm going to drain it. Okay, now I'm doing pinches. You can see how much that is, because the sea salt is pretty strong and you don't need a lot. And I've had to add way more of other ingredients to compensate for making grits too salty, and it is not a fun cooking experience when you're trying to correct a mistake. I get flustered, so. And then a sprinkle of pepper. Sometimes I'll overdo it with pepper, so I'm doing all of this really slowly because I mess it up real quick. And be careful when you're tasting the grits. Like, don't just go in like that, because I have burned myself so bad just forgetting that, hey girl, these are grits. So slow down a little bit. Okay. Ew. They're nowhere near ready. So another pinch of salt. Let's get this sugar action happening. I'm going to turn my hash off and move it off of the flame. Sugar. And then I'm going to do, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like this much of sugar at first. Clean my hands in there, because grits seem to take a lot of flavor in. It's like it soaks it up. I'm gonna need some more of this. This from Trader Joe's. This is so good on some toast with some of their smokehouse almonds. So I'm just gonna add a tad. Man, talk about a nice smoky barbecue experience. Okay. And you know, I'm gonna stop for a second and take my hash out, because I don't want it to sit in that grease. I want to drain it. And then we'll come back to flavoring the grits. Remember, I told you, look how big this thing is. I've had this for so long. This is pink Himalayan sea salt. Anytime you see that Kirkland, you know where it's from. Costco, baby. Okay, so the hash is finished. And it's looking pretty to me. So I'm going to give it a taste. Actually pretty flavorful already. I can smell it. So I'm going to hit it with more seasoning, with all the seasonings that I have here, and then I'm going to add some basil, some fresh basil from the garden. So a sprinkle of garlic powder. Let's toss it around. And I started this channel because people, when they find out that I'm vegan, and me and Halim are vegan, they always ask, what y'all be eating? So I figured that when I'm cooking, I could show you what we about to eat. And maybe it'll give you ideas. So I just hit it with some, ooh, my man. And it doesn't need a lot of it. Here's a spoon. Oh, it just smells so good. Let me just do one more sprinkle. And then Italian seasoning. A little bit of pepper, and then I'm gonna do some salt. Oh, I meant to do a little bit of spicy mustard in this, because sometimes that really does a lot. Like I really like adding that with peppers and sausage. Some more smoked paprika, and then a little bit of adobo. I said something, but I just forgot what I said I was gonna add. This is just a dusting of adobo. Oops, overhanded. It smells so good. Okay. It just needs a little bit of salt. Oh, I said spicy mustard. That's what I said. Where's my salt? A little bit of salt. And I think I'm gonna hit it with some cayenne. Just a dash of cayenne. Okay, now give it a taste with a bite with all of the ingredients on it. Piece of the sausage. Right. Then red pepper. Put some potatoes on that thing. And where's the garlic? It looks like a little garlic. Okay. Now for always in the cabinet. Okay, now for the final taste test. I'm gonna sprinkle of my last bit of salt on my hand. That is really good. The sweet potato has a nice sweetness, and the savoriness of everything around it is so delicious. So this type of stuff we be eating. Hash. Okay, so now I'm gonna give this container a rinse, add some fresh basil, set this to the side, and finish my grits. And then I'm gonna make some bread like I used to have when I was in Morocco. It's kind of like misimen, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alrighty, back to the grits. Now, the last ingredients that I'm going to be adding to my grits are the butter, salt, and pepper, and sugar. So let me give it one more taste. Nope, not yet. It needs more salt and a whole lot more sugar. So already I used one handful of sugar. I don't know how much sugar that was. Now I'm going to use another one. Probably do some more. It probably is quite deplorable how I add sugar to my grits, but it is such a nice balanced flavor. Now you can do whatever you want with your grits. I think that maybe I may add a piece of vegan cheese if I'm feeling like I want to go cheesy. Halim doesn't like cheese in his grits, so I'll just add it to mine, but I may add like a little teeny bit. Grits are yours to make taste however you want. Oh yeah, it's getting better. Okay, so no more salt, just sugar and butter. Butter gives grits everything it needs. Let's go for it. And once like you taste the flavor coming together the way you want it to, it just feels like, yes, I did it right. I was watching this movie called Chef about a man who is a chef and he opens his own food truck, and they have since made it into a series with the real chef who was his consultant during the movie, and they make all the recipes from the movie. And whenever he's cooking, he tells you to just lose yourself in it, like just be all about cooking and just about taking your time, thinking about the flavor, and it really, really pays off when you are mindful about the cooking experience. Okay, let's taste it. I'm gonna add a tad bit more garlic, and then I think that'll do it. And it's really exciting. It's coming together, and I can taste it already in my mind with the hash. And then I'm gonna add my bread to it, and it'll give like a nice little sweet treat to finish it off. Okay. A little bit more butter, and I think this baby's ready. Grits just make me happy. I fell in love with grits about 3 years ago, and I could not find no Quaker grits to save my life in Casablanca. But I have an amazing mother, and I told her that I wanted me some grits, and if she did not hook me up with a care package full of grits and lemon pepper seasoning, I went through them grits way too fast. Okay. These make me feel so amazing. They're creamy and savory, well balanced. Yours don't have to taste like mine. Maybe you could use the ingredients. I'm definitely going to add some cheese to mine. So I'm going to put this back on the stove to heat up a little bit more on low heat. And then I'm going to get my bread started. I said on low. That's not low. There we go. So I don't want to burn them after I just created such a masterpiece, you know? Okay, so for the bread. Here's the bread. This is from Trader Joe's. This bread is an Indian bread. However, it is similar to misimen. It's like reminiscence of a bread called misimen that I used to eat in Morocco in the morning with some tea. Whew, amazing. But Salah's mother, my friend's mother, she used to make it, and you would think that you were in heaven when you bite into it, because all she did was put butter and honey on it, but it was the amount that she did, and it was just so amazing. So I'm going to make that as a nice side with my brunch, and I'm going to have some tea with it. I should make some peppermint tea. Yeah, because I have some mint freezing in the freezer. But this is what it looks like. You just prepare it for it's called, I don't know, you can read it. I don't know how to say that. But you can find this bread at Trader Joe's. If you don't go to Trader Joe's, I have no idea where you can find this bread or any bread like it. I've only seen it at Trader Joe's. But I'm sure you can find it at an international market, because they have a lot of different types of foods to try. Okay, so I have it on the stove, and I'm going to just put it right there. It's a very lightly greased pan for this. and you just watch it so that it only gets about like what, a minute or so on each side. If you have too much oil, it will burn, and if you leave it too long on one side, it will burn. The instructions tell you it basically just kisses it for a little bit, for about 2 minutes per side, or until crisp and golden. And you wipe the pan with a very lightly with an oil dip paper towel. It doesn't need to be drenched in oil unless you want a crispy fry, but the way it is so soft, and whew, it's amazing. So I'm going to get a plate. I'm gonna because I don't want to use this cutting board. I was cutting up onions on it, and I don't want to mess this up with onion flavored bread. Okay. All right, they're done. Now for dressing them, we're gonna add butter. See, I burned it a little bit. Okay. Now for the pièce de résistance, the honey. Now, you will not want to be stingy with the honey. This is what kind of honey? Raw honey? Yeah, I prefer raw honey, but you want to see that honey on it. Just make it honey soaked. It's so good. The butter and the honey together just create a symphony of subtle sweetness that just surrounds your senses. Alliteration is funny and fun. Okay, so that's one piece of bread. Take some of that from there. Yes, just soak it in there. Okay, this is why it's so good with hot tea. It's like a nice morning sweet, or if you're just craving something really sweet. It's not too sweet, but so you could control the level of sweetness. This is just right for me. But when Salad's mother would make it for me, she would put so much honey on it, and it was just so good. It's like a light crisp, but it's still soft. Okay. And then I put them on top of each other and cut them. You're just in time for bread, Helene. I said you're just in time for bread and brunch. You want to turn the tea maker on so we can sip some tea? I should have made the tea first. I always forget to do that. I get so excited with the bread. Okay. Get into that. Amazing. The hotter it is, the better it is. So I think that I may sit this on the stove again so that it can get hotter when I'm ready to eat it with my breakfast. But I'm going to give one more shot of everything. So here is the hash. I added some basil. Now we're ready to eat. Here's the grits. We're going to slide those grits right there. Next to these. This pretty hash. Oh, pretty thing. Okay, that's a lot of grits, but I'll go for it. Boom. Sugar grits by some. So we have sweet potato hash and grits with nice bread. That's what we eating today for brunch. What you gonna be eating? Let me know. Bye bye.